So apparently, some babies born this year already have more invested than I did at 22. Not because they're smarter than me. They're babies. They can't even hold a spoon. It's because of a new government program that opened investment accounts for millions of kids, and whether you love the politics behind it or hate them, the actual financial mechanics of this thing are a masterclass in something I've been telling you since episode 1. So today, we're not talking politics. We're talking about the math, and why a program designed for literal infants accidentally became the best free investing lesson of the year. Let's get into it. Quick heads up before we start, I'm not here to tell you what to think about the politics of this. Reasonable people disagree on that, and honestly, that's a different video for a different channel. What I am qualified to talk about is the investing principle sitting underneath it. Because strip away the headlines, and what's left is one of the cleanest real-world examples of compound growth I've ever seen. And it's happening to babies who, again, cannot hold a spoon. Here's the simple version. Starting this year, eligible kids in the US can get an investment account opened in their name. The government kicks in an initial deposit. Family, friends, even employers can add more on top, up to a yearly limit. The money sits invested, mostly in broad stock market funds, completely untouched until the kid turns 18. At 18, it unlocks and basically turns into a normal retirement-style account they can keep growing for the rest of their life. Now here's the part that made my jaw drop as a finance nerd, not as a political commentator. Some of the official projections show that with modest ongoing contributions, that account could realistically be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars by the time that kid is my age. Some estimates, assuming decades of average market growth, even reach into 7 figures by retirement. From a one-time deposit. That a baby did absolutely nothing to earn. Now, before anyone in the comments says, "Must be nice," you're right, it is nice, and not everyone has equal access to programs like this. That's a fair, real critique, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But here's what I actually want you to take from this, because it applies to you right now, whether or not you have a government-funded head start. It's not the size of the first deposit that makes this powerful. It's the number of years the money gets left alone. That's it. That's the entire secret weapon here. Not genius stock picks. Not perfect timing. Just time. Left alone. For a long time. I did the math on my own situation compared to a theoretical 18-year-old starting today. And it's honestly a little humbling. Same eventual age. Wildly different outcome. Not because the kid is smarter. Because the clock started 18 years earlier. I'll be honest, when I first read about this, it stung a little. Because episode 1 of this show is literally me explaining how I lost $10,000 not understanding this exact principle. And here's a program handing the lesson to a baby for free, no $10,000 tuition required. But then I realized, that sting is actually useful information. Because the thing I'm jealous of isn't the free money. It's the 18 years of not touching it. And that part? That part is available to literally anyone, starting today, regardless of what any government program does or doesn't give you. You don't need a headline-making government program to start the clock. You need an account, a small consistent amount, and the willpower to leave it completely alone. So here's what this whole story actually teaches us, boiled down to what matters. Number 1, starting early beats starting big. A small amount invested at 18 will very likely outgrow a much larger amount invested at 40, purely because of extra decades of compounding. Time is doing most of the heavy lifting, not the size of your first contribution. Number 2, untouched money is the whole point. The structure of this program locks the funds away for nearly 2 decades. That's not a limitation, that's the actual mechanism that makes it work. If you can build any version of locked away, untouched, for years, into your own investing, you're borrowing the same trick. Number 3, Free money is still just the starting line, not the finish line. A one-time deposit alone doesn't get you to the big headline numbers people are quoting. Those bigger projections almost always assume additional years of consistent contributions on top of the initial amount. The seed matters less than what you keep planting. Number 4, don't let a headline replace your own math. Some of the eye-popping long-term projections you'll see floating around assume market growth stays at its historical average for decades straight, without interruption. Markets don't move in a perfectly straight line. It's a genuinely useful example of compounding, just don't treat any single projected number as a guarantee. I don't require you to have an opinion on the politics of who signed what bill. The compounding math would work exactly the same if literally anyone else's name was on the account. So if you're watching this in your 20s, 30s, whenever, you missed the "start literally at birth" window. So did I. So does basically everyone watching this video. But the actual lesson isn't, you needed to start at 0 years old. The lesson is, the best time to start was years ago, and the second best time is today. Every year you wait is a year of compounding you don't get back. Every year you start earlier is a year you basically get for free. I can't retroactively give myself an account at birth. But I can make sure that 18 years from today, I'm not the guy explaining why I waited even longer to start. So, are you letting your money sit around waiting for the perfect moment to start investing? Be honest in the comments. There usually isn't a perfect moment. There's just today, and every day after today that you keep waiting. Subscribe for more of these, real stories, real numbers, zero political takes, all the actual math nobody breaks down for you. New episode every week. I'm Ben. This has been Benomics. Go start your own 18-year head start, today's as good a day as any. Pause. Also, if any babies are watching this, solid work. Truly inspiring stuff. No notes.